be the same. You crank up to 17. It doesn't matter if you're filling 1 bottle or you're filling 4 bottles. This outlet pressure will be the same on these gauges here of the bottle pressure. You want to fill them at 2250. So right now we're at 2100. Okay. When you get to 22, see, there's 22. If you go over 2250, what happens is this wonderful little disc here. It's called a burst disc. Instead of this bottle blowing up in your face in this cascade system, which it shouldn't, because you got them in these metal things. But chances are it could blow up. What happens? This little burst is set for 2260. Okay. It'll blow that, and the air will start pouring out of it. Okay. That's just a little safety of these bottles. Here's your gauge here. You can see we're at full, which would be 2250. So what you do here is you back this off, or you shut the bottle down. You always have the bottle with these things cranked wide open. So you're filling the bottle. You don't want to have this turn open, because then you're not getting down all the way open or all the way closed. Yeah, and then you get less amount of moisture in the tank. Okay. If the tanks heat up, believe it or not, come here and feel this tank. Feel that tank. How hot it is. Feel this tank here, how cold it is. And you're pushing that hot air into a cold tank. So that's what happens. Moisture develops. So you want to have them open so you fill them as fast as you can, so you get no moisture. Then you walk over here and you shut this valve, fill them all off, because this is the bottle that you're working with. Back this regulator down to under 1,500 pounds. If you don't, you'll find out what happens. Over here, and this is you can't just crank this off, because you're still got. You gotta bleed it. You gotta bleed it down. That's what this valve here does, bleed down. Crank this, you take this off. See, Jeff was complaining that it was leaking. This little O-ring here, it has a chip out of it right there. And you know how it gets a chip? You see how it's flattened right there? How it's round and you get that little chip out of it? You know what causes that? People, instead of taking them when they're done and screwing them back on, what they're doing is they're dropping them in this little O-ring. It's a piece of metal inside and chips it. That's the only way they ever go bad. Okay. Yeah. So when you get done, take them and thread them back on. Just like that. Then you're done. You got this tank filled. You can take this and hand that to Lauren, and away you go. But you're capable, and then once you get down, your bank 1 gets down to 22.
Where you can't fill.
You can't fill anymore. So what you do is you shut bank 1 off, and you make sure you get bank 1 off all the way, because if you don't have bank 1 shut off, what happens is you open up bank 2. Bank 1's still open at 2250. What it does, it equalizes. What it does is it equalizes the 2 bottles together. So guess what? Now we got 2 bottles that ain't worth a shit to us, because they're both at 2250 and our bottles are filled at 2250. So we can't fill any more bottles. That's the biggest thing we got. That's one of the biggest things. You want to make sure when you run out of air in this.
Only one of these can be open at a time.
Only at a time. That's right. Otherwise, you just. And I've seen it where I've come in, and all these are open, and they can't figure out why they can't fill bottles. What they've done is 2 of them were at 2250 or at 15, whatever, 2250. What they've done now, they've opened up the next 2. Now they've equalized all 4 bottles, so we're sitting dead in the water. But it isn't all a bad thing, because this system is such a good system that you can shut the 3 down. Leave the 1 open at 2250. You can crank this open up here. You can hit this button, and as fast as you can fill bottles, this thing will pump air. So it's not like you're dead in the water here. You're never dead in the water, because this is a great system. As fast as As soon as you hit this button and you open up, no matter even if it's at 2250, this thing here is going to keep up and you can sit here and fill bottles all day. It's just that you exhausted your reserves. So what you do there is, at the same time, you open up bank 1, you open up bank 2, you open up bank 3, and you open up bank 4, and you let this baby run, and you can sit here and fill bottles.
Okay.
So you'll never ever be without it. It's just one of them things where you don't want it. Because if this would ever fail, this thing would happen to die. Guess what? Now we got 4 full banks. Where before we got 4 banks that are equalized out, and now we are in trouble. Okay. Bottles are 2250s at low pressure. The only time you ever switch it over to high pressure,
the bulk here,
is when you fill the sheriff bottles. They're at 4,500. This allows you to get to 4,500 pounds of pressure. Or you fill our 2 blue bottles that are in rescue. Yep. Those are at 4,500. If you try scuba diving tanks, here we have to fill their dive rescue tank. Here we go, all done. Always back this off to 1,000 pounds or under 1,500.
Okay.
Just get into that habit because it isn't good to have all that pressure sitting on that regulator. And besides that, there's some people that don't like that. You'll talk to. And that's the way it is.
How does this thing, does it fill all 4 of those at once?
This thing will fill all 4 of them bottles at once, as long as you got these banks open. This is 2 bank 1. If you crank that one open. 2 bank 2. Whatever bottles you want to fill, you crank that bank open.
Okay.
See, because look, here's a perfect example. Watch now, we got these 2 are sitting at 4,100 RP or 4,100 pounds psi. Okay, I really don't know what I'm doing here, and I forget. You know, I think, you know, okay, this is shut off. I'm smart. I got this one shut off. Life's good. I got this one shut off. You know, these bottles are all filled. You know, and I'm filling these air bottles out of my things here. I got this bank open, and I'm down. You know, I'm at 2250, and I said, okay, I need a new bank. So I'm really moving, doing really great. Now I crank this one open. And being that these 2 are the same, we would say these are 2250. Now this one equalizes that one out to 2050. Oh my God, what did I do? So I panic and I crank this one open. And look at the gauges. What we've done is taken bank 3's bottle of the 4,500 psi. Now we've equaled out bank 2 and bank 1. So they're all sitting at 2250 right now. But oh my God, now what do I do? By then someone will. Don't open up bank 4. Either remember what you've done wrong or come and get somebody, okay, to help you out. Then when you get done, shut these off. And now they're all sitting at they're all sitting at the same. That's when you crank this one open. You crank these open all the way. And you crank this one open it all the way. Because you want to fill these banks up again. And you walk over here and you hit this button here.
Okay.
And it starts it up. And you have your gauge for oil here. That's the air filter oil gauge. It's at, I think it's about 25 inches. Or whatever. That just tells you there's oil in the filter as far as I know. I don't know. I have to. You can stop taping this. I don't know. Fill that bottle. No, when it gets done filling the bottles, it shuts itself off. You'll come in here and all you'll see is the white light.
Okay.
So what you do there is you shut that, push that button, and you close your banks.
Okay.
And so then we're ready to go. Okay.
Does it have a deal where it'll automatically turn on at a certain point, or?
No, it won't.